Okay, good evening, everyone. I believe you can all hear me. Good evening, good morning. Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, good evening, Faith. Thank you. Okay, so just to be sure that our people on YouTube, they can hear me. Good evening, everyone. Good morning. I think we have very low participants yet on the call yet, so maybe we'll just do some some overview of what we did in previous classes yesterday, so that other people can join us as well. Okay, so today actually we're going to be looking at some data warehousing techniques. They are like, some of the things that you might be working with when you start, as a data engineer. You want to create stored procedure, you might want to create views, you might want to create user-defined functions. So we'll be talking about those concepts today, right? Talk about procedure, how to create stored procedures, and how to create user-defined function as well. So, but before we dive into today's section, just to keep the class warming, right, before others join. So I believe what we did yesterday, I think some of us are saying that maybe they are not clear, or they might want us to look at or go over it again and all. So what I will do is that I will quickly do. I think I will do one more example regarding the data cleaning that we did yesterday. I will just do one more example for us, just to understand the concept of data cleaning and all. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. So please, let's invite others to join. Let's invite others to join the section. Let's invite others to join. Let's tell our colleagues that the class have started, so that they can all benefit from the live session as well. So please confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, I think that is being worked on from the studio manager here. Okay, so please, once you have the screen, let me know. I'm already sharing my screen, so you can let me know once you added the screen. Okay, thank you very much, Faith. Okay, so okay, so for our audience on YouTube, so let me hear from you. Let me even ask you guys, what did you learn yesterday before we even dive into this section? What did you guys learn yesterday? So I would like to hear comment from us. So what did you learn yesterday? So let's hear from us. I would like to hear from you guys. Okay. Faith, okay, let me stop sharing my screen and share again. I will share again now. Share screen. Entire screen. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing my screen again now. Faith, if you can see it, let me know. Okay, good evening, everyone. Greeting to everybody. So for our audience on YouTube, I've not yet gotten any response from you guys. So I need to be sure that we are together. So just type in what you learned yesterday, whatever you learned yesterday. Can you just type in whatever you learned yesterday? Just tell us, even if you just want to learn, just put it on the comment section. Faith, can you see my screen now? I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see it now? All right, thank you. Okay, so please let me know. I need your response for those of us on YouTube. Okay, I think I need your response from those on YouTube. So for those on YouTube, can you see my screen now? Is my screen visible now? Can you see my screen now? Medallion architecture. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. We talk about medallion architecture. Thank you. You even remind me. I've almost forgotten that we even talk about that. Yeah, data transformation. We talk about staging, development, production. Yeah, and so when we talk about data transformation, so what are the kind of transformation can we do as a data engineer? So let me even know whether you guys even understand this concept. So as a data engineer, what are the things you do when it comes to data transformation? So if someone say, oh, Princess or Vivian, can you, as a data engineer, you tell people that you transform data, you clean data. So what exactly do you when you use the word transformation? So what exactly does that mean to you as a data engineer? So I would like to hear from our YouTube and for people on the LMS system. Like, okay, so tell us what you understand by the word transformation in your own word. Yeah, tell us what you understand by the word transformation in your own word, and probably how it is related to data. Yeah, in your own word, just tell us what you understand by tell us what you understand by data transformation, data cleaning, and how it's related to data. So let's hear from you guys. Alteration of tables. Okay, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I just want to understand, whether you guys understand transformation. So what does transformation means? Let's say that you go for an interview today and you are being asked, how do you transform data? So what will be your response? What will be your response? So let's I'll give us 3 minutes to do that. So let's quickly do a little bit of interaction here. Okay. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for our people on. I'm waiting for those of us on the on YouTube. I'm waiting for some of us on YouTube. So let's talk about. So let's talk about transformation. What's transformation? What do you understand by the word transformation? What does it mean to you? What does the word transformation mean to you? No live lecture on LMS. Okay. Okay, I'm not getting response. I just want to be sure that our YouTube people are with us. Okay, so please let's drop our comments just to be sure that we are together. So what do you understand by the word transformation in your own word? And I say related to data. So okay, I think someone dropped a comment already. Data transformation is the process of cleaning, standardizing data and making it suitable to run for data analysts and data scientists. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's capture it all. Yeah. Adewale, yeah, you capture it all. That transformation is the process of cleaning standardized data and making it suitable for data analysts and data scientists. Yeah, that's the work of your data engineers. You clean your data, you standardize it, you apply business logic on the data, you make it suitable and make it usable, because usable is very, very, and suitable is also is very, very important in that definition. Because if the data is not usable for your data analyst, the data is not suitable or is not usable for your data scientist, then the process that you said is not correct then. So the data must be useful to your analyst. So So let's move on to today's topic. So yesterday, I will quickly go over the transformation process again, just for some of us that I know a lot of people are saying they are having issues accessing the class, maybe about the LMS system. Or so I will quickly go over, just do one example for us again. I'll just go over it again, and then we'll move on to today's topics. So I believe you can see my screen. I believe everybody can see my screen. So I will move to my studio, to my SSMS studio. Then I will go to, so let's use our database, use the Incubator, the database that we created yesterday, execute. Faith, please confirm you can see my screen. Oh, my screen is off. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so let me try and join the studio again. Okay, sorry for that. I think something is off from my side here. The studio. Okay. Faith, confirm you can see my screen now. Okay. What about now? Can you see it now? Can anyone see my screen? For our audience on YouTube, okay, you can see it now. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think my network is fluctuating, so sorry for that. So before we dive into today's section, right, today's topics properly, so let's quickly look at one or two things from yesterday's section. So yesterday we do our data transformation. We clean our data, and we are able to see. I told you yesterday that we talk about Medallion architecture, the different levels, right? The different levels to which you can organize your data, right? So from your staging area, which is your bronze layer, to your development area where you do your transformation. Then once you are done cleaning your data, the data is fine-tuned already, then you can now move it to the production area, right? Which you can now pass across to your analyst or to your data scientist. So we'll just do one example. So we look at the stored table. I think we didn't clean the stored table yesterday, so we just clean the stored table as we just use the stored table as an extra, or we use it to remind ourselves what we did yesterday, right? Okay, so yesterday we talked about different things, right? We did a lot of transformation yesterday. So one of the first things that we did also yesterday is that, okay, in a scenario where you want to change your data types, right? So you might want to confirm if your data type is correct or not. So you need to check the store ID and your region ID to be an integer, right? So, and how do you check that? So you can go to your table. So you go to your columns, then you see region ID is a tiny integer, store ID is a tiny integer. So that means that they are whole number. So this type, you don't need to change anything in this type of scenario. You just need to confirm that the data types are actually correct or not. So let's move on to the next one. So hide the capital column name full address by merging the store city, store name, and store country, separated by a comma and space. Use a custom separator. So you can see this one now. So let's quickly run. So let's do select all from dev.store. So if you run this to give you the information, all records on the store, to give you all records from your store, to give you all records from your store, so you can see all the record now, right? You can see all the record now. You can see all the record. So now we have store state, store city. We also have store country. So we want to create a column called what? Full address. We want to create a column called full address, right? We want to create a column called full address. I think my network is off again. I don't know what is wrong with my network today. Sorry about that. Something is wrong with my network today. It's going on and off. Sorry about that. So let me, I don't know, the network is, and the funny thing is I'm using it with two devices, so it's working perfectly on the other device, while the main device is, I don't know why it's tripping off on the other device. Just off it here. Okay. Okay, so just give me a minute. I'm coming. Still working on joining back via my other system. Okay, so test again. Okay, sure. Okay, so Faith, can you confirm if you can see my screen now? I need to pay attention to this to be sure that we are all together. Okay. Faith, you need to help me to confirm if the screen is up now. I'm currently sharing my screen now. Our studio audience, the people on YouTube. So if you can see my screen, just let me know if you can see my screen as well. Okay, the slide is not showing. Yeah, I'm not showing the slide. I'm showing the studio, like my working space. That's what I'm showing at the moment, Faith. Is that what you are seeing? Okay, probably. Let me stop sharing and share again. Share screen. Share screen. Share. Okay. All right. Okay. So what about now? Faith, can you confirm now? Can you see the screen now? How about now? Still the same. Internet people today. The funniest thing is that I'm using the same device I'm using the same internet on this other network, and that's fine. I don't know what is wrong on the other device. It's looking like a device thing now. Um, Okay, what about now, Fit? Can you check now? Can you check now? Still the same. Wow. This is serious. This is serious. Not yet. Okay. You said it is up. Are you sure it's up? No. Okay, for those on YouTube, can you see my screen now? I think Faith said it is up. Just to be sure. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's. I hope the internet will be stable now. So let the prayer warriors in the house pray for us so that the network doesn't fluctuate again. Okay. So what we want to do is I want to create a column that is going to give us the full address. We want to create a column that is going to give us a full address, right? So what I'm going to do is that we are merging the stock city, the stock state, and the stock country together. So what we first need to do is to create a new column. So we're going to say halter table. So what's the name of the table? Halter table dev.store. We're just trying to revise what we did yesterday. Anyway, so we say add full address. So add full address. That is a varchar. So full address varchar. Then let's add it. So we have done that. So let's check it. So if you check your column, you will see the full address column here. So we want to update this full address now. So we're going to say update dev.store. Then we'll say set. So we're going to say set full address equals to concatenate, concat. So what do you want to concatenate? Comma. We need to put a space. So put a space, then we say comma. Then we're going to say store Okay, so Faith, probably you might need to help me out here. I don't know whether do you have the slide? Probably you can just send me to. Ah, so sorry about the net. The network is very, very fluctuating from my side here today, and it was working perfectly before. It was working perfectly before, but I don't know what is wrong. Please, can anyone hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can anyone hear me? The network is very, very poor today. For sorry for the break. Sorry about that. For those on YouTube, can you guys hear me? Uh, so today that is the last day. Okay, I can hear you. Okay, so thank you very much, Lizzie. Yeah. So now I'm having a challenge. The challenge is that I cannot my other device is not. Yeah, you guys can hear me, but you might not be able to see my screen. So my other device is not connected. Is not connecting, and I think the network is not strong enough to connect with it. So probably so I'm looking for a way I can probably get the slide, so I can just probably explain about the slide. So just give us some minutes. Yeah, just give us a minute, please, guys. So sorry for the inconvenience today. So sorry about that. I don't know what is wrong with the internet today. Okay. Okay. Okay, so sorry about that. So sorry about that for those that cannot hear anything. We have some network issues over here, so sorry about that. I believe you can hear. Can you hear me? So I'm so sorry. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. We have network issues from this side. Please, can you hear me? Those on YouTube, can you hear me? The network is very poor today. Yes, okay, Faith. So, Faith, can you let me just probably you can just let me share your share the slide, and I'll just explain, some few things. Probably, we will. So let me just, if you can just help me to share the slide from your side, since people can hear me, because I'm joining with my other device and I can speak from that, but the only challenge that I have now is that I won't be able to share my screen, right? Because I can't join with my other um, system. Faith, are we together? Yeah, the screen is not showing. Yes, I get that. Okay. Yeah, the screen is not showing. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So, if you have any question, so while we are trying to resolve this, so if you have any question that you want me to address, at least you guys can hear my voice, right? You guys can hear me. So sorry that you will not be able to see the screen. So if you have any questions, that you want to ask me, maybe based on previous class, yesterday's class, or any challenges that you are facing regarding the training so far, probably you can just drop it and I will look at the chat. I can see chats from on the YouTube and I can speak to that so that we don't, we we manage the time very well, right? So please, if you have any question, okay, I have an observation. Okay, what's the observation? Yeah, I can go on. This topic is not live on LMS. So if you have any observation, concerns, I think you can drop it. I believe that we have the managers also there, looking at your questions, and they will pick up if it is something I cannot answer, they can always answer your questions, later on. So I don't have LMS and also not on WhatsApp group. I registered for the call today. Okay. I mean the topic is not live on LMS. The topic is not live on LMS. Okay. Okay. So let's just talk about today's topic, right? Yesterday, if there's no question, right? So let's talk about today's topic. So probably if the internet is stable, if the internet is not stable, then we can probably I will find a way or a time that I'm going to explain the concept to you guys, because next week is going to be a new sheet. You guys are going to be experiencing a new person taking you guys, and we are going to move on to the So we are going to move on to the Python side of things from next week. So, but while we are still trying to figure out if the network will be stable back or not. So what we want to do today is we want to talk about store procedure, and we talk about store procedures and user-defined function. So what is store procedure? So I will just explain the concept to you guys. So what is store procedure? So store procedure is a kind of way, or let me say functions. When you say functions, just like when we say functions, right? When we say functions, just like the way you have some functions on your Excel, in Excel, you have some function like sum function, you have like average function. When you say average in Excel, what the function is going to do is to find the average of a column for you. When you say sum, what sum is going to do for you is to what sum is going to do for you is to add up numbers together, right? That is what the sum is going to do for you, isn't it? Good. Now when we talk about stock procedure too, they are like a pre-built functions that you can actually reuse, so that you don't have to be writing a long query every time. You don't want to be writing a long query every time. For example, now, when it comes to stop procedure, you can write stop procedure to insert a record, to insert a new record. You don't have to necessarily write the entire insert statement all over again. What you just need to do is just to call that procedure, then input the whatever you want to input. Assuming that the network is good, we will have demonstrate this to you so that you can see it live, right? So stop procedure, you can use it with insert. You can use it to do insert statement. You can use stop procedure to do update statement. Whenever you want to update a record, instead of doing updates all over again, you can just write a stop procedure that can update your table for you automatically. Like you just say, you just execute the stop procedure. The only thing you just want to do is to just execute that stop procedure. You can also use stop procedure to read. What did I say? Please, I hope you guys can hear me. I hope I'm not talking to myself. I hope you guys can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just type you can hear me. Let me know whether you guys can hear me. At least, even if you cannot see my screen, but let me be sure that you guys can hear me. Okay. I think the screen is. The screen is up. Yeah, I won't really be able to do much, but we'll just talk to the slide. Yeah. So let's go to the okay. Keep on going. Faith. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. Yeah, okay. Keep on going. I think we had stop procedure. I think that's what we had today. Yeah. So just move on to the stop procedure. Yeah, thank you. Okay, go on. Keep on going. All right. Data transformation. Okay, stop procedure. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So like I said, stop procedure are meant for you can use them to what? You can use them to they are like a, how would I say it now? So they are like a pre-built, is like a customized function that you create yourself, right? When you are, it's more of like you are creating a function yourself, and you can use it, like I said, you can use it to do a lot of stuff. You can use it to do insert. You can use it to create. You can use it to update. You can use it to delete. Especially when you are even working with injection, right? Whenever you are doing ETL process, stop procedure is one of the most used use process. When it comes to ETL process, when it comes to pipeline, whenever you are creating your pipeline, I think maybe during our work and demo session, hands-on, we would look at how you can automate, and probably we might have to use stop procedure in that process. So stop procedure is very, very, very important. Is a kind of way you can. It's just a way that you can pre-build your functions for usability later on. The same thing, we also have what they call the user-defined function, right? We also have what they call the user-defined function. User-defined function too is also similar to stop procedure. But the limitation of user-defined function is that you can only use user-defined function to create a functions. It doesn't do inserts, it doesn't update, it doesn't have the capability of stop procedure. So user-defined function is just like saying that you want to create a function called revenue, right? You want to create a function. So whenever maybe you want to get revenue for, maybe you are trying to get a revenue for your customers, right? Instead of you writing, calculate, select all from the table, merging two tables together and doing it all over again. You don't have to be doing that all the time. So what you can just do is that just create a function, a user-defined function that calculates revenue for you, right? Create a user-defined function that calculates revenue for you. That user-defined function that you created, anytime maybe your boss say, Shola, can you help me look for the revenue of this particular customer? So instead of you writing the entire scripts all over again or writing the code all over again, you don't need to do that. Just call your function, put the ID of the customer or the product that you want to check for the revenue. Just input it, execute the function. That's the only thing you need to do. So user-defined function, stop procedure, they helps you to limit the number of time, the hours that you will spend rewriting a query all over again. So that is the purpose of the stop procedure. Faith, can you go to the next slide, next page? So one thing about, like I said, stop procedure is when it comes to the reusability, reusing it is very, very faster because you can reuse your stop procedure and it helps you in creating your logic. When it comes to enhancing security, ETL, I mentioned ETL the other time, like pipeline. When it comes to creating pipeline, even when it comes to reporting side of things, I don't know whether some of you know how to use Power BI here or whether you have used Power BI. Sometimes when you want to bring in data into your Power BI, sometimes you use stop procedure to bring in your data instead of running a query. Sometimes you can just use stop procedure to bring in the data. And when it comes to execution, stop procedure it helps your work to be more faster, or user-defined function. It makes it more faster than you writing it all over again. Then when it comes to stop procedure, it's like a kind of centralized business rules because the rules has been defined already. You don't need to be thinking about how should I create this, how should I create it? Especially when it comes to functions. You don't have to be thinking of how should the logic is already given to you already. It's a centralized rule for everybody, and you can always create that stop procedure. Okay, so thank you, Faith. Can you move to the next slide? Let me see what we have there. Can you move to the next slide, Faith? Okay, so though we might not be able to this is supposed to be a kind of demo, like do it for you so that you can see how it works, right? So sorry, Faith, I just want to be sure, are people on YouTube also seeing this slide as well? Are they seeing the slide? Just to be sure that it's not holding me, I'm seeing the slide, just to be sure everybody on the call can also see the slide. Faith, can the audience on YouTube also see the slide? Okay, yes, we can. Okay, all right. Okay, that's fine. So, yeah, thank you. So, we are supposed to do this one. This is supposed to be a demo. So, I told you the other time that we can use stop procedure to insert a record, right? We can use stop procedure to insert a record. And if you look at this, what you can see on the slide, you will see that that is a stop procedure that we are trying to create here. We are trying to create a stop procedure called insert product. So anytime we want to insert a new product, we don't want to be writing insert statement all over again. Hello, we don't want to be writing insert statement all over again whenever we want to insert a new record. So we are going to create a stop procedure, and that's what that stop procedure is. We say create stop procedure, insert product. Then we create a parameter. You see that when we say we create a parameter, you see all those product ID, product brand, product SKU, product retail price, product weight, or you will say that there is a sign in front of it. The @sign at the front, that is the parameter. That is to indicate that, oh, this is a parameter. Then, whenever you are defining a store procedure, you start with begin and you have an end. So if you look at it, we say as begin, insert into product, we define the product, the column of the product. Then we put the parameter. We say value. What are the values that we want to impute in this store procedure, right? Then you put the parameter there. Do you understand? Just like the normal way you insert your record, right? You put your columns, headers, then the values that you want to. But when we are putting the values, we put parameters there. So parameter means that any values can comes in. Do you understand? Any values can comes in later on. That is what the parameter is actually doing. It means that any value can comes in later on. That is what the parameter does. Then once we have created the parameter, we can now execute that parameter later on. So let's say that we want to insert a new record now. We want to insert a new record, right? So instead of saying insert into dev product, we don't need to do that. We don't need to be writing insert statement all over again. What we just need to do is just to execute that store procedure. Probably we just want to say, okay, we want to add, let's say we want to add a new product now. We don't need to be writing insert into. Just execute your store procedure, put the value that you want to insert there, then everything automates into the system. You don't have to be doing it all over again. Do you understand? So that is for the insert. Can you move to the next slide? Faith, can you move to the next slide? Okay, so we also use store procedure to also update our record. So, most of the transformation that we did yesterday is around, we are altering the table, we are updating the record, we are using this one to update. If there's a particular table in your record that you often update, especially let's say product. So let's say that your product, you always update it. And what I mean by update is that maybe the prices changes, right? Maybe the price change often, or let's say, or sometimes it might be like, oh, you want to change your product name, or you want to update, or maybe a particular customer even leave a particular place and you want to update the customer information. So in data warehouse, in data engineering, there's a concept called slow changing dimension. There's a concept called what? Slow changing dimension. We have different slow changing dimension. We have the slow changing dimension 1, slow changing dimension 2, slow changing dimension 3, slow changing dimension 4. So slow changing dimension 1 is the one that you are updating your record with no trackable record. So what did I mean by that? What I mean by that is that when you, for example, now let's say I'm a customer of, let's say that maybe I'm a customer of Netflix, right? Netflix is a streaming app that we all use to watch movie. And currently, I when I was registering my Netflix account, I put in Nigeria as my location, right? When in Netflix database, they receive that information that, oh, this particular customer is from Nigeria. Do you understand? Now, let's say that maybe after some years or after some months, I will relocate to, let's say, Canada or any country in the world, right? I relocate and I want to update my Netflix because probably my payments that I use in Nigeria does no longer work with that new environment. I have to change my payment card or anything. Now, I want to change my payment card, and they are now telling me to verify my credential again. So during the process of verifying my credential, I have to put in, maybe let's say Canada as my new country. Do you understand? Now, there's a change in my information in their database. So now, they can decide to choose, okay, what kind of update do we want to do? Should we use the slow changing dimension type 1, or should we use the slow changing dimension type 2? So store changing dimension type 1 updates the record. It does not keep track of old record, meaning that when you update the record, don't keep the information that, oh, this person he lived in Nigeria before. We don't need the information. Do you understand? Just update the new record. But when you are updating it with slow changing dimension 2, it means that you want to keep both record. You want to know, okay, how often is this person moving from one area to another area? And I think I don't know, maybe for people that use Netflix a lot now, like people that use Netflix, often you see that Netflix have, before you can probably, connect someone else account, be someone else, Netflix with your own, and there's not. But recently, I observed that, if you are trying to connect, it's because of the location changes and all, it's fluctuating. They might even have to log you out or tell you to even log in, and those information are very, very vital. Do you understand? So you need to understand the kind of changes you want to make. Sorry to just divert. I'm just trying to explain when it comes to updates. You need to understand what kind of updates you want to do in your record, because these are also data engineering concepts that you might be hearing later on. Slow changing dimension, and you need to know the type of changes you want to make to your database as well. Do you understand? So you might have to go further, go and read more about slow changing dimension. Slow changing dimension. We have about 6 types of them, but the most common one is the SSD1 and SSD2. Slow changing dimension 1 and slow changing dimension 2. Those are the most common one, right? So you can also use store procedure to update your record. Now, whether you want to use SSD1 or SSD2, depending on whatever you want to do, you can decide it. Do you understand? So you can use store procedure to create your update record. Please move to the next slide. Faith, move to the next slide. So delete. Maybe you want to remove some information, you want to delete some record in your database. Store procedure too can be used to actually achieve this as well. You can also use store procedure to achieve this, to delete a record. So what you will do is that you create that store procedure, right? You create a store procedure, put the parameter that you want to use there. So in this case, we are creating a store procedure called delete product. We want to delete, maybe, like I said, if you are doing slow changing dimension 1, once a new record is updated, you might want to delete the old record. Do you understand? Once a new record is, even whenever you are even doing slow changing dimension 1, I think the update happens automatically. Actually, it's not like you have to even first insert a new record and delete the old record. No, I think there's a way you will do it. You will say when maybe when your product ID matches, then you update the columns that you want to update. Do you understand? When your product ID, or maybe when your customer ID matches, do you understand? You update the columns that you want to update. So that's but in a scenario where you want to delete a record, maybe, okay, you have to first keep the old record before you delete you have to first keep the old record before you delete it. In a scenario like that, you can use store procedure to delete a record. Do you understand? You can use store procedure to delete a record. So move to the next slide, Faith. So when it comes to select, like to read, the way we normally write our select statement and all, maybe you always query a particular database. For example, now I say select all from my table name, and I say where customer ID equals to, or maybe where store, store information, how much, right? So maybe let's say where store equals to store ABC, right? So now you always query this database often and often. So instead of you writing your scripts every time, why can't you just create a store procedure that is going to be reading your database for you? So instead of writing the script all the time, just create a store procedure. You always query this database almost every day. Create a store procedure for it, so that it will limit the number of times you want to be running the query or writing the code. It will reduce the number of time you want to write the code. So just create a stop procedure for it and execute that stop procedure. So, and like I said earlier, for any time you want to write a stop procedure, you always start a stop procedure. So what are the things that you need to do in your stop procedure is that you have to define the name of the stop procedure. So for example, whatever you are seeing here now, we want to create a stop procedure called what? Get customer transaction. We want to get the record of the customer. So for example, now let's say that Faith went to the supermarket and the next day Faith said, oh, maybe one of the product that he purchased, when after she checked her receipt, she saw that, oh, there's a particular item that is missing. Now, you went back to the supermarket. They now want to check that your record and say, okay, is it true that this person bought this thing and this thing was not properly recorded in our receipt or not, right? So now they want to scan through our record. They run our record. Do you understand? They run a record. So instead of writing a query to run the record, they will just create a stop procedure for it. That okay, so that if another customer comes, right, another customer can also come and say, oh, they're also having a similar issue. So you don't have to be running query every time any new customer comes in. Anytime a new customer comes in, just ask for their customer, maybe just collect their receipt, look for the transaction ID, input the transaction ID, then the transaction ID is going to bring out all the transactions that the customer made during that time or during that period that we are talking about. Do you understand? So stop procedures, it actually helps you in a lot of ways. So when you start working as a data engineer, as analyst, as a scientist, these are the kind of techniques that you will want to use to make your work more easier, right? To make your work more easier, actually. Okay, so I know the next slide is not, I didn't put the examples there. I think that should be user-defined function. I didn't really put the how to build that here. Yeah, I'm not sure I put it there. But user-defined function, like I said as well, it's just a kind of way you create a function. The reason why the UDF is different from stop procedure is that when it comes to UDF, you can only use UDF to create a functions. You cannot use it to create. You cannot use it for manipulation. You cannot use it to create a new things, right? You can't use it to do that. The only thing you can use UDF for is to create functions. So when I say function, what does function mean? For example, revenue. Maybe every day you always want to track your revenue, maybe by product or by customer or by store, right? And you don't want to be creating that query every day. You want to limit the number of times you create that query. Do you understand? You want to reduce the number of times you create that query. So you can just create a function for it that, okay, this function, right, is calculating revenue for me. You're just building the function. You're just customizing your own function. You are building it yourself. That this function, what I want you to be doing for me is to be calculating revenue for me. Do you understand? Or you want the function to be calculating what quantity for you, right? Do you understand? So these functions, UDF actually makes sense when you are, when you are doing a repetitive task that you don't want to be writing code all over again. And we have two types of it. When it comes to UDF, we have the scalar and the table version of it. So what is scalar? So scalar UDF is going to return just one single record or one single value at a time. What did I say? When it comes to UDF, we have two types of it. We have the scalar UDF and we have the table version of it. The scalar is only going to return one value. What I mean by one value is that, for example, when you say 2 times 2, what is 2 times 2 going to give you? 4. When you say 10 times 10, what is going to give you? 100. No matter how big or whatever value you are calculating, it is just one value that is going to give you. The same thing as scalar. Scalar will always give you one return. Hello? Scalar is going to give you what? One return value. Do you understand? And when it comes to table version, so the table version of it returns value exactly like the way you would do your normal table. Do you understand? So you need to know this them the same way. There's a special way to them. So probably when next I come up, right? Maybe I will try and show you guys how to write. At least I've explained the concept to you already. So, but maybe one thing I will also say is that try as much as possible to go and look. Maybe what I will do is that since I cannot do the demo for you guys, I will look for materials and I will share the materials. It will be uploaded on your LMS system, and just go and watch how stop procedures and what are the importance of stop procedures and how first stop procedures actually helps you in in minimizing your work efficiently, right? So I'm so sorry for the network issues tonight. So if you have any question around user defined function, stop procedure, or anything generally that you have talked about, kindly let me know. So if you have any question, kindly let me know. Please, can we still hear me? I hope you guys can still hear me. So please let me know if you can still hear me. Okay, so let me see. Okay, Faith, you can hear me. Thank you. So others, please, if you can hear me, for those on YouTube, so please let's ask question. Let's ask question. For those on YouTube, let's ask questions. So let's ask questions. For those on YouTube, let's ask question regarding stop procedure or anything that we have done in the past. Let's ask question. Okay. If there's no questions, right? So once again, I will apologize for the network glitch today. Not expecting that to happen, but it is what it is. So sorry for that. So what I will do is that I will get materials to further explain UDF for you guys, user defined functions and stop procedure. Yeah, I'll try and get materials. So the materials will be uploaded on your LMS system. I will make sure that I will also follow up with that. And also, while you are preparing for next week, so I just need to prepare you ahead of next week. So I'm sure that I'm not the one that is going to take you next week, but I have my August that is going to come. I think you guys already met her. I think last week or something in the first introduction. So so she'll be taking you guys Python next week. So please let's prepare our mind. It's going to be a wonderful session as well. Please let's make sure that we join and we practice. If you have any challenge, please you can always. I don't know whether there is a feedback platform that you guys. I think there's a WhatsApp platform. There's a channel that you guys are chatting. If there's any challenge that you guys are facing, you can always let us know. So if there's anywhere we can assist, right? In terms of maybe you are unable to install your studio, or you are trying to run a particular query and the query is not running successfully, or you are trying to try any of the concept that I've explained, right? So if you have any challenges around that, you can always, communicate. And also, you guys should also help yourself as well. Make sure you network, you teach each other, you collaborate, right? It's also a way, right? It's another way you learn from one another. Collaborate with other people, make sure that and also please push your work out there. Let people know that you're learning something. right? I think this, I don't know. I think generally data engineer does not like shouting. So, but it's fine. But you need to let people know that you are doing something out there as well. So, Faith, I think if there's no question, so I'm so sorry about, so sorry about the whole internet issues. I don't know why the internet is working perfectly. It's not working on my other device because that's the major device I'm using to share screen, and it's not perfectly working there, but it's working on my other net other devices. Well, anyway, thank God, yeah. So sorry about that for our audience today. If for the experience that you experienced today, I pray that it doesn't happen again. Or yeah. So if there's no question, Faith, I don't know if you have any other things for the audience, please you can go ahead and pass it across. If not, um, we'll see you again next week by God's grace. Okay. All right. We'll see you again by God's grace next week. Yeah. Bye for now.